Today, I'm going to show you how to set up and operate this 1/2 horsepower sump pump from Biter. This is a completely beginner-friendly walkthrough covering materials, installation steps, safety tips, and how this style of pump actually operates once it's in the pit. But before we install anything, let's go over the materials we'll need. You'll need the pump itself and a 1 1/4 inch or 1.5 inch PVC pipe, a check valve, a 90-degree PVC elbow, primer and cement, sandpaper, plumber's tape, and I used 3 1 1/4 inch male adapters. One is attached to the outlet of the pump itself, and the other 2 go on either side of the check valve. Tape measure, and a hacksaw or PVC cutter, and a GFCI outlet or extension cord. To start, make sure the sump pit is clean and free of debris. You'll also want roughly 10 inches of diameter space to ensure the pump and float have plenty of space to operate freely. This pump is a 1/2 horsepower unit rated at up to 4,600 gallons per hour with a maximum lift of 22 feet. It's built with a cast iron body, which helps with durability and heat dissipation, and it uses a built-in vertical float switch. Now that float design is important because it allows the pump to fit into narrower sump pits and operate automatically without any external float arms. Now before we start the installation, let's look at the general concept of what it is we're building. Essentially, it's one vertical pipe with a check valve in the middle, followed by a 90-degree elbow and further pipe to direct the water away from the house or well or whatever it is that you're draining. That's it. You can customize this to how you see fit and even use rubber hoses instead of PVC if you'd like. To start the installation, it's a good idea to dry fit everything first before gluing. But measure and cut a short section of PVC that will run straight up to the check valve directly from the pump's outlet. It only has one outlet and no intake, making plumbing on sump pumps very easy and basic. And as I mentioned in the materials, my check valve needed a male adapter on either side, and the check valve should always be installed vertically with the arrow pointing in the direction that the water should flow, away from the pump. This valve is critical because it prevents water from falling back into the pit once the pump shuts off. After making the cut with your hacksaw or PVC cutter, you'll want to take a piece of sandpaper and sand down the outside, inside, and rim to make sure that none of those shavings impede the primer or the cement. At each pipe connection, apply PVC primer to both the pipe and fittings, followed by PVC cement. Then firmly seat each connection with a slight twist. You'll want to hold each joint for a few seconds to prevent pushback while it sits. Since I used 1 1/4 inch PVC, I needed one male adapter to attach to the pump outlet. Use plumbing tape at each threaded connection and wrap it to the right, clockwise. This helps prevent leaks and gets a tighter connection. Once that was in place and after I attached an adapter to the top and bottom of the check valve, it was time to attach additional height and the elbow. At this point, you can also add any further length of vertical pipe to that elbow that you'll need so that the water exits safely. Mine's just a demonstration here, so it's not leading anywhere, but if you are connecting this permanently, make sure the pipe is properly supported and sloped so that water flows away from the foundation. Avoid sharp turns or unnecessary bends as those reduce flow efficiency. After the discharge piping is assembled, carefully lower the pump into the sump pit. Make sure it's sitting flat on the bottom and not resting on loose gravel or debris. The vertical float needs clear space to move up and down freely, again about 10 inches in diameter, so double check that nothing is touching it or restricting its movement. Once everything is connected, plug the pump into a GFCI protected outlet. This pump operates automatically, so there's no switch to flip. As water enters the pit and reaches roughly 7 inches, the vertical float rises and turns the pump on. When the water level drops to around 3 to 4 inches, the pump itself will shut off. That automatic cycling helps prevent dry running and extends motor life. From a performance standpoint, this pump is designed for demanding applications like basement flooding, effluent pits, and light sewage use. The cast iron construction adds weight, which helps keep the pump stable during operation, and the thermal overload protection automatically shuts the pump off if it overheats or runs dry, an important safety feature for long-term reliability. But in real-world use, what stands out is the compact footprint combined with high output. It doesn't require a large pit, yet it moves a lot of water quickly. But to wrap things up, proper installation is just as important as the pump itself. Use the correct pipe size, install a check valve, make sure the float moves freely, and always test the system before relying on it. And before I forget, it's also highly important to mount the pump at the bottom of the pit so that it doesn't move or tip over on you. Set up correctly, a pump like this can quietly protect your basement or your home for years with minimal maintenance. But that's it. If you're in the market for a sump pump, I highly recommend this one. Setup is easy, operation is easy. Hope this was helpful. Reach out anytime with questions or concerns, and have a great day.